Can you feel the roar building beneath Ford Field? Has Detroit's destiny been ignited in the hush of this offseason? Could this be the moment that finally breaks the drought and sends shockwaves through the NFC North? Mash that like button. And drop your belief in the comments if you're ready for the Lions to flip the script. Insiders say a seismic shift is already in motion. Whispers echo from the war rooms to the practice fields. Shockwaves ripple through the depths of the front office, and if this rumor holds true, every rival in the division will tremble. Out of nowhere, like a bolt of lightning striking the Motor City, comes the name Keenan, the most dominant linebacker outside the NFL. And Detroit scouts have circled him ever since that pro day in 2024. Picture the headlines: Lions, Inc. LFA, and German League tackling titan. A revelation that redefines everything tactically and emotionally. Wolf's journey from Fresno, California, through the German Football League's Cologne Crocodiles, and now tearing up Mexico's Liga de Fútbol Americano, Professional has shown he's not just another under-the-radar prospect. He's a tackling machine who shattered LFA records for most tackles in a single game and across an entire season, locking down Defensive Player of the Year buzz like the rabid fan base we've always been. Remember those gut-wrenching playoff near misses, the 97 wildcard collapse, the soul-crushing 0-16 season that became our crucible? This could be our chance to end decades of heartbreak and finally forge the kind of defense that haunts quarterbacks long after Monday night fades. Imagine Wolf running sideline to sideline alongside Alex Anzalone, forming a duo so vicious that Aaron Rodgers will think twice before dropping back, and Aaron Donald might envy the chaos these Detroit Hounds unleash. But what if this signing cracks our locker room chemistry? What if Wolf's arrival, that colossal presence rumored to be friends with safety Morris Norris from their Fresno days, sparks envy or uncertainty among our current core? What if his relentless hunts for Hobbs, or his instinctive reads on third and long leave even veterans second-guessing their assignments? And what if it all works in perfect harmony, propelling us to the fiercest playoff run since Barry Sanders' swan song charging into January, with a defense built on grit, discipline, and unbreakable will? Picture the scene: Ford Field under the lights, 65,000 roaring, as Wolf barrels through the line for a game-changing sack, the noise so deafening it rattles every rival's confidence. Yet the question remains: if this domino falls, if Holmes and Campbell truly bet the farm on Wolf's transcendent talent, it might just unleash the wildest Lions offseason in history and leave every other team scrambling to catch up. If your heartbeat's pounding like a kickoff return barreling toward the end zone, drop a roar in the comments and let Detroit's pulse sync with mine. Because what's coming next isn't for the faint of heart. It's the next seismic chapter in our crusade for glory. As the dust settles on that earth-shaking revelation of Keenan Wolf tearing through every league from Germany to Mexico, imagine the tremor crashing through the locker room, veterans eyeing the young phenom with equal parts respect and wariness, rookies stealing glances as Wolf transforms every drill into a hunting ground, and coaches whispering about scheme tweaks that could reroute coverages around his sideline speed. Could this move spark a domino effect, unleashing a defensive wave so fierce that rival play callers, Packers and Vikings alike, will find themselves rewriting game plans on the fly, scrambling to plug gaps where Detroit's new TNT strike force makes mincemeat of protection schemes? Picture Aaron Rodgers furrowing his brow in late October as he watches Wolf and Alex Anzalone suffocate running lanes that once looked open as Michigan Avenue at Thanksgiving, and Christian McCaffrey wincing at the thought of having to navigate through that Detroit front. Think back to the Caldwell era, when hope flickered briefly before sputtering out in playoff heartaches and measly wild-card appearances. And then that brutal 0-16 crucible that shattered our spirits. It was the fire we needed to forge a believer's soul. Now, decades later, with the ghosts of Barry Sanders gliding through the stands like saviors of old, we stand at the edge of a renaissance. Real stats tell the tale. Our pass rush ranked near the bottom in sacks last season. Our turnover margin worse than a novice gamblers, and our red zone defense folded under pressure too many times to count. But Volf's arrival could reverse those numbers overnight. Imagine Detroit vaulting into the league's top 10 in sacks, forcing fumbles that shift momentum with the violence of a thunderclap, and slamming the door on opponents inside the 20-yard line with the ferocity of 57's championship roar echoing through Ford Field. And yet, what if this tectonic shift fractures the delicate chemistry built over grueling camps and winter workouts? Could existing leaders, our captains, who weathered sacks of criticism, feel overshadowed as Volf's highlight reel tackles flood social media, threatening to rewrite the narrative that they are the heart of this defense? Will Anthony Zettel or Charles Harris, veterans who carved out respect with grit, find themselves scrambling to assert their place alongside this outsider from Fresno? Meanwhile, picture the barstool debates igniting in every Detroit pub. Fans split in two like the Red Sea, some begging management to pull every lever. Mortgage picks and future cap to cement this upgrade. Others pleading for loyalty to the guys who carried the torch through darker seasons. Across the division, the ripple will swell into a wave of panic. Minnesota's sideline chatter will stutter as they watch their run schemes derailed by Wolf's gap discipline. Green Bay's cold weather offense fretting over a 3rd and long blitz that used to be reserved for preseason scrimmages, and Chicago's underdog heart beating faster in dread of Detroit's newfound bite. Imagine a snow-laden December night when the Ford Field crowd 65,000 strong erupts at the sight of Wolf diving for a strip sack. The roar so thunderous it rattles City Hall. That moment could mark the turning point in a playoff drought stretching back to '93, the very next spark that ignites Detroit's long-awaited postseason glory. Yet I can't shake the rumbles of doubt. What if this gamble backfires in midseason? If opposing coordinators scheme up counters that neutralize Wolf's strengths and expose corners still learning to read off his instincts? What if injuries hover like vultures, picking away at our depth when we can't afford to bleed points? And what about the emotional toll? Will the weight of expectations crush this rookie out of nowhere, turning him from savior into scapegoat? When the glare of primetime TV exposes every misstep, it's a knife's edge between legend and cautionary tale. Ask any Lions fan about the sting of promising seasons that collapse at the final whistle, and you'll feel that tangible ache. But here's the cinematic climax we crave. Ford Field under the lights. Wolf lining up across from the league's best, the camera zooming in on his steely eyes as the ball snaps. And in one fluid explosion, he bulldozes through the line, pummels the quarterback, and pries loose the pigskin, then rises, roaring with triumph, a symbol of Detroit's unbreakable resolve. And as the smoke clears, the city beyond the stadium trembles with a newfound belief that this is the moment we ascend, that this is the dawn of a Detroit Lions legacy, written in steel and roar. So I ask you, Lions Nation, will you stand unflinching, ready to ride this avalanche of momentum, or will you shrink back from the storm of expectations about to crash upon us? The horizon glows with possibility, and the only question left is, do we have the courage to step into the roar?